What's going on, DSG? It's your boy DarrnellBradley back at y'all with another video, and today we got AaronOnAnime. How bad was Velma actually? Now I haven't really seen it like that. I think my girlfriend was watching some of it, and I peeped a bit of an episode, and it looked like, honestly, if it was its own thing, like it wasn't tied to the Scooby-Doo people minus Scooby-Doo, it seemed like it could have been really good. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a big part of its issue is that it's just basically taking the Scooby people and making a whole new show out of it. You know what I'm saying? With absolutely zero regards to source material. And I feel like that's people's big issue. I feel like this thing could have probably done really well as its own show, to be honest with you, from what I had seen. But we gonna see what Aaron got on it. Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, follow me on all that there social media. We ain't here that ain't further ado. 3, 2, 1, click.
Today we're gonna solve the mystery if Velma is really that bad.
Solve it
what the boy
first.
decided to do is sit down and watch every episode today.
Oh, no.
Look, the unanimous consensus around the internet is Velma is terrible. Velma is the worst thing ever made. Even worse than Dragon Ball Evolution, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Hold up, bro. just on that tip, I gotta like, but just between them movies, like Avatar, honestly, like if you hadn't seen the show and had no reference point and you just watched the movie, that was a good movie. That was a good movie. But if you watch the show, yeah, we definitely had problems with Avatar: The Last Airbender live action. Did on what they was doing. Dragon Ball Evolution, I hold personal hatred towards because it doesn't matter what the prerequisite was to that. It was just bad. If you hadn't seen Dragon Ball and you watched Dragon Ball Evolution, it was bad. If you hadn't seen Dragon Ball and you just came into that, you probably wouldn't watch any of the Dragon Ball cartoon or anime based on your experience with watching Dragon Ball Evolution, because that movie was straight dog water. But all right, let's move.
The live action movie and literally everything Netflix has done to live action anime. Damn. When you put it like that, this show, it sounds terrible. The show sounds like the worst thing that has ever been created. And if you've been around at any point in the last 20 years, there's a lot of things that have been terrible.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Well, gang, I'm here to tell you, Velma ain't that bad.
Is this serious?
Now, hold on before you get typing in the comments.
You're on the stake right now.
Tell me how terrible it may be. Hear me out. But first, before I explain my opinion, let me explain the definition of a phrase. Stockholm Syndrome. Stockholm Syndrome is a coping mechanism to a captive or abusive situation. People begin to develop positive feelings toward their captors.
Where you going
or
with this?
abusers over time. This condition gets its name from a robbery in 1973 that happened in Stockholm, Sweden. Now you might be asking, yo,
if you have
yeah,
a side
sorry, we ain't
gig
got that
and need
prime.
to file your taxes,
We ain't
visit
got that. We ain't got that.
freetaxusa.com.
YouTube don't
what
pay
does
enough
this
for
have
that.
to do with Velma?
And
Let
they
me
paying less
tell
and
you,
less
the
every day.
reason this ties into Velma because the show isn't that bad.
That shit was ass.
It's actually worse than anything we could have ever imagined. I literally spent hours. It was so hard getting through these episodes. We got through episode 1 and I was like,
That
damn.
man said it's not that bad. He said it's downright horrendous. Jeez. I was gonna actually start trying to agree with him on a little bit. It wasn't that bad. Like I said, the reason I would agree with it's not that bad is only because if it was able to stand on its own feet, completely separated from the Scooby-Doo stuff, it could have been a good show. It's just something completely new to watch. You know what I'm saying? It could have been, but the fact that they had to, like I said, tie it to Scooby-Doo stuff using absolutely none of the source material, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna respond well to that.
This show is really bad. And to progressively watch from episode 2 to 6 was, quite frankly, the hardest thing I ever had to do in my entire life. And now I know that may seem far-fetched. That may seem like a lot. Bro, this show is bad.
They got your ass on camera.
Velma ain't that bad.
So that was a fucking lie.
I believe it's so bad, in fact. As you continue to watch the show, it begins to get slightly better and better each episode. And in fact, it's not getting better. We're starting to cope with how terrible it is. Like,
my man said you got Stockholm Syndrome with his show. He said the show held you captive. Yo, this man wildin'.
Our mind is literally saying,
Yo, the show ain't that bad.
that's not what we're tricking ourselves. Now, Velma is a character originally from the series Scooby-Doo. That's just in case you don't know. And gang, I'm a Scooby-Doo baby. I remember the first Scooby-Doo show I ever watched. It was Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?
Yup.
When it came on Cartoon Network.
Yup.
Hell, I remember missing
You know what's
school
up?
and watching a pup named Scooby-Doo.
Yup.
I even remember
You know what's
when
up?
What's New Scooby-Doo came out.
Yup.
Now we on the topic of what's
Hold
new.
on, he making me. What's the Scooby Doo coming after you? Gonna solve. Sorry. It is what it is. It is what it is. Deal with it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Let's go. But you know, we still love the OG Scooby Doo though. We still love the OG Scooby Doo. Let's go.
Remember?
Scooby Dooby Doo, where are you? Come on, you come on now. You know what's up.
When What's New Scooby-Doo came out.
Hex girls?
While we on the topic of What's New Scooby-Doo, hands down, the best Scooby-Doo theme song ever to exist. You can argue with your mama.
Hey.
We're back on topic. But like most Scooby-Doo fans have enjoyed most of their series and most of their movies, I was one of them going into this series. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I expected so much more from the series that had so much promise. Velma as a series is probably the worst spinoff to any series in television history. And that's including that Shaolin Showdown remake that came on Disney XD. And everybody said that was bad. But I'm gonna be honest with you, gang. It was nowhere near as bad as this. Hell, even Be Cool Scooby-Doo, which a lot of fans
I don't even know
didn't
that
like
one.
the series. I mean, they look like cartoon drug addicts.
I'm glad I missed whatever this was. This one is not on my radar at all. And from the looks of it, I was blessed. All right, we move.
This show was fucking hideous. I felt like I was watching the marvelous misadventures of Flapjack. That's not fucking Scooby-Doo. That's just Dooby.
Relax, dude. Take it easy, man.
And the fans enjoyed this far more than what we've gotten from Velma. Now, Velma was supposed to be something new, edgier, darker, adult, completely different from the original Hanna-Barbera IP. Something more serious and adult. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I was looking forward to it. My mind and my imagination.
Because I feel like you're right. There is an area to make Scooby-Doo more adult for the fans that grew up watching Scooby-Doo. You feel me? How something can grow with it, like how Samurai Jack, you know what I'm saying? He always fought the robots and the oil was spraying everywhere because it was a young audience, but they realized that the audience had grown up. So what they do, they moved over to Adult Swim and had him cutting people up. You know what I'm saying? Blood splat everywhere. So they knew that when it grows up with your audience, that's fine. But they respected the source material. You know what I'm saying? It was still Samurai Jack. There was no respect for source material with this Velma thing. So that's why I feel like it should have been its own show. Or if you're going to let it grow with the audience, you got to respect the source material.
Ran. Wow. Velma, adult, this sounded like it was shaped.
I mean, I think everybody's seen that movie and was like, wait a minute, Velma, what you doing over there?
Up to be everything I could have hoped for. No. And what we got was nowhere fucking near that. I fucking hate this show. I hate this show so much, in fact, that every show that I hated before this in the past, I no longer hate those shows.
Tell us how you really feel,
What
though.
I do, I just hate aspects of those shows. This show, however, I hate everything about it. I mean, there is not one single minute thing about this series I in fact like. And look, before I continue to keep dragging the show, before we continue to talk about the bad, let's talk about the good. My mama told me if you don't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. And look, me being the individual I am, I do got something nice to say because I can find the good in anything. The show in itself looks good. Now, am I talking about the characters? No, I'm not. But we're only talking about the positives here. Now, no matter how terrible the show is, and no matter how many ungodly attempts they do to make some jokes, some of them do in fact get a laugh out of you.
I think it has something to do with drugs, which I hate.
Statistically
All
speaking, if I shoot enough basketballs at a goal, enough time, I should at least make one.
My thing for that is if you shoot at a dot 100 times, you gonna hit it at least once. So like I feel what he doing.
And that's the humor here. As much terrible as it do say, some of it hit and it's kind of funny. See, it sounds like Stockholm Syndrome, don't it? I'm struggling to find the good. The show had a great concept.
You know what? I could find some good in it. The art style, I think the art style is good. I think the art style is really, really nice as far as the cartoon is concerned. They did a good job with that. For me, even for the little bit I've seen, that's about where it falls off. Like as a cartoon, the animation looks cool. Like that's about it. It should have been its own. It should have been a completely different show, or they should have respected the source material. That's it.
And a great hook, the idea. The new edgier show with darker tones. Great concept, but terrible execution.
Yep.
Now, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. I don't hate the show because of the race swap, honestly, or the sexuality. You can hate the show and not be racist or homophobic. If something is bad,
it's bad.
It's just bad. Let's call it what it is.
Bad. Like I said, they just didn't respect the source material, bruh. It's nothing. Like I said, the race swap and things like that excluded. It's just not what the fans wanted. And me as a fan, you wanted some kind of Scooby-Doo gang variation-ish thing, but more adult since you were raised with that show. That's what they was expecting, and that's not what they got. The show should have been a standalone.
This was simply the most marketable way to make this show. Whereas a more adult-focused Velma show does sound amazing, you gotta think about it from an executive point, right? If I was an exec, I would need something more to grab an audience. And they leaned into this idea because
It's provocative. Gets the people going.
and look, the boy, I'm all for representation. Steven Universe, it was gas. This is ass. I can only speak for myself. I've never actively pursued seeing more black characters. And I think that was from the perspective or the standpoint of, like, if I like this show, I liked it regardless of what the characters look like. Cartoons and movies are a fantasy world, gang, where we get to see other people's imagination drawn out. And to me, all I can speak for, it wasn't something that made or broke the show for me. Now, when I did first see a character of color, it was a plus for me. I thought, yo, this is lit as hell. But if it wasn't there, it didn't push me away from the show. I hope that makes sense. This time, it's so gimmicky, unauthentic, just like the rest of the show. The show follows Velma as she tries to solve the mystery of her missing mother and a murderer who's going around killing all the pretty girls. I ain't gonna lie to you, the show sounds like it was literally written by someone who was either bullied or picked on or hate pretty people.
She's so fine, she done pissing me off.
How are you that fine?
Granted, that's the point. But even though that's...
Who the fuck is that guy? Like, I know that was just a little cut clip, but I need to know who's really out here getting mad at females for being attractive like that. What?
The point, it's bad. Now, while she's out trying to solve the mystery of her missing mother and whoever the hell is killing all the pretty people, she goes through a manic cycle where she begins to see stuff that's not there. And this is caused because of her guilt, because she feels like she's the reason her mom disappeared. When this happens, she has a panic attack and she's literally been killed in the show. We 6 episodes in and the bitch done died twice. Keep her dead and end the fucking show.
We interrupt this program for an
How you really feel?
announcement.
Like, I hate it. The show is race swapped everyone but Fred. And let me tell you, I hate it. The show is race
swapped how did they race swap Daphne? What is she now? She still look white to me. Like, unless they stated something else, then all right.
swapped everyone but Fred. And let me tell you, I didn't want this. I don't think anyone did, bro.
They really didn't.
Velma as a character is a utter bitch.
To be real, like, even with the race swap and like, like I still feel like they could have made it a good show, but like I don't feel like the race swap was necessary. You know what I'm saying? Like we were good with what we grew up watching. Like we were good. All right, like come on.
Who lives in delusion?
White girl with too much money. You don't know me. Enjoy your slow descent into organic farming, losers.
Damn.
Judgmental as hell and fucking selfish. And plus, she's super down bad. She talks about everybody else, but look who's down horrendous.
Yes, for me.
Shut the fuck up. After her and Daphne kissed, Shorty couldn't keep shooting her shot. I'm talking about Daphne. Maybe we could be friends with benefits. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting moist right now. Come on, Daphne. Velma, let's keep it as friends. We just got back cool. Daphne, just tuck me down. Let's get it on. I can solve this mystery. My panic attack is getting me. That is essentially what she was doing. I gotta keep spinning the block because I can already see y'all in the comments. But it was meant to be.
That clip might get you.
You were like this. It was meant to be relatable. Blah 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 blah. Dog, it was fucking shit. She's fucking shit. She's terrible. Granted, her dad is terrible. Her life is bad. However, all the shit that happens to Velma, and as much as you want to give her leeway and the benefit of the doubt, as a character, you can't because she's a trash human being. Throw her on the anime bitch board with Amber and the rest of them. I hate it. She's terrible.
Man.
And in this show, Daphne's Asian with red hair.
Oh, okay, so Asian. I didn't know. She looked white, and the thing, the way it was drawn, like that's something I'd have had to watch to figure out. But we move.
And I'm not gonna go into it. I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna explain the reasons or unpack what happened there or why it's so terrible. But it's fucking bad. It's bad. Oh, we got Fred. Man, Fred is an L for real. Fred is a fucking L. Oh, and then there's Shaggy. And there's Shaggy. Look what they did to my boy. Oh, come on. If you gonna make him black, at least make him cool. He a bitch.
I'm out of here, and I might be late for dinner. Don't pour my milk.
Let's get the fuck out of here, bro. The entire show, he's fumbling and dumping all over Velma about how he want to be with her. He trying everything in his power to get Velma. He down bad over Velma.
Yeah, they definitely. This is what's going on. They switched a whole lot of dynamics. Not even just race swapping. They switched all of the love dynamics of the show. Yeah, I'm sorry. They had zero respect for the source material in the show. Oh my God. All right, come on.
Talking about what I gotta do to get her to like me. I'ma sell my kidney, and then she'll realize I'll do anything for her, and she'll then love me and give me some of that boom boom room. Bro, it's down horrendous. And then once he got a girl, he was still a bitch. The show is ass, and the show is going in this weird direction where it begins to build out and flush out the world, and the more and more they try, the more I hate it. The 98% of the humor from this show is a miss, and as the show continues, it creates an interesting story, but puts it together like you find out about a special operation that was centered around switching brains into different bodies. Ooh! Speaking of that, let's talk about how the show introduced Scooby. It's an acronym.
Oh, dang. It's an acronym? He ain't even in the... Wait a minute. Like I said, I know. This is making me real glad that I ain't really go to watch this show because, like I said, I try not to hold a lot of stock in just reviews, you know what I'm saying? Try to see it for myself and gather my own opinion. But like I said, even from like the little bit that I did watch, like when my girl was watching, I was like, I don't think I want to watch this. And from everything he's telling me right now, like I am so glad because I didn't need to sit down for this disappointment. I didn't need this in my life.
Switching brains into different bodies. Ooh! Speaking of that, let's talk about how the show introduced Scooby. It's an acronym for a specials operation of them switching fucking brains.
What?
He's not even a fucking dog. Bro, I wouldn't be surprised the way the show keeps going if it goes down a
Well, because it's called Velma, not Scooby, so you can't have Scooby in it, just like the other one's called Scooby, but Velma's in it. You can't have some like really, y'all can't. Like that part. When I heard that, I was like, wait, Scooby's not even in the show, bro. I when I first had heard that, bro, I'm like, oh my god. Like at first I thought he was gonna tell me like the way they introduced Scooby. I thought maybe he's in it, but no, he ain't even in this. Like, bro, I was like, no. I feel like that was probably one of the worst decisions they could have made as far as this show is concerned. But all right, let's go. Like I said, zero respect for source material.
Root, and somehow they end up putting somebody's head in a dog's body and they call it Scooby-Doo. Or we find out it's Shaggy's mom or his dad the whole time who did the killing. And yes, I'm calling him Shaggy. I know his name is Norville, but I don't give a fuck.
They know what they did with that.
I personally think they could have just created an entirely new set of characters in the Scooby-Doo universe. And it would have been fine, bro.
A whole new set of characters. Yeah, even in the same universe, that's fine, but a whole new set of characters. Like I said, it could have stood on its own. Let's go.
Hell, if they wanted to take a darker tone, they could have literally just brought back Mystery Incorporated. I feel a show like that, if it was completely unrestricted, it could have literally made for a more compelling and overall series.
Makes
sense. People would have been more attached to it. Hell, people are making videos. The only reason why this show is doing as well is because people are hate watching it. And look, I get it. The show is meant to poke fun at everything and show the hypocritical nature of the world we live in, to remove the veil that we know as reality and poke fun at the impartialness of everything. But it's terrible. The show is shit. Now look, there's of course all the Easter eggs and they try to play homage to Scooby-Doo, but it's not good enough. And the thing I noticed about the show, it's so bad in fact. As you're watching it, you're trying to find the good in it. You're trying to say something along the lines of, hey, it can't get worse. Yeah. How every episode after the first just seems so much better, but they're not. They're all terrible, and we're lying to ourselves to make it feel better. This show literally feels like they got together all the things that make a show pop in today's society, but they put it together in a horrible way. Hell, the show might turn 180 degrees, but I have to call it like I see it, bro. The show fails to deliver on everything everyone hoped for. There's so many
these little picture cuts, bro. They getting me a little bit.
Else they could have taken to make it good, and they chose not to. And those 1 and 2 laughs that pop up, it don't make the show no better. The overall show is shit. And you can ask some folks, they do in fact like the show. I feel like there is an audience out there. This show is bad. And I think the majority of us who are watching it or have seen the past episodes are experiencing a coping mechanism of why it's so bad. I personally
for people that didn't grow up on Scooby-Doo, they'll probably mess with this, to be real with you. For people that do not have any source material to reference, for no reference points whatsoever, you know what I'm saying, like a younger generation, whatever, even though I know this is edgy, like this show probably do hit for them. I ain't gonna hold you, but like anybody with any point of reference is just no.
Made the first episode so bad, in fact, that people would talk about it, get people gears going. People would come in, go see it in the hopes that the writing would develop, lock fans in so they continue watching it. The show feels like a random idea generator. Sad part, this bitch got renewed for season 2.
How do you do that? How do you do that?
Let me go watch Mystery Incorporated.
Oh my God. Yo, that was something else. And we watched something else here too. Seems like Aaron definitely let us know how he felt about it, and like I said, he's got a more in-depth opinion than I'm ever gonna have, because I ain't really peeped it like that because of this, you know what I'm saying? And like from what I have seen, I wasn't really like, I didn't want to put myself through it, so I'm glad I watched this. And like I said, I've seen some other things, because normally I don't go just off of reviews, but in this case, I gotta say, like, I grew up watching Scooby-Doo. I don't want to do that to myself. I don't want to do that to myself. So thank you, Aaron, for this overview. I'm gonna go ahead and take your word for it. That's a take. Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, follow me on all that there social media, and I'll catch y'all next one, fam. Peace.